Is updating the Atari 2600 Plus or 7800 Plus harder than it seems? Let's find out. What's going on, everyone? It's Rich Haywood here for Bacon Ice Cream Productions and Team RTFC. Welcome to you to yet another episode of Good Times with Retro Rich. Yeah, it's not going to be a news line today because it's not necessarily, I don't know, like breaking news. This is more just like a normal supplemental episode because we did our episode already on the 7800 Plus and the update email that came out from Atari, and then did the update process on a 7800 Plus. So what we're going to do now is investigate some stuff. So I was watching a buddy of mine on the internets and the YouTubes, goes by the name of BCB or Ballistic Coffee Boy. And one of his recent videos, it seems like a lot of the people that watch his channel were actually having trouble updating their Atari 2600 Plus and 7800 Pluses. And fortunately, over here, I happen to have a 2600 Plus that has not gone through the update process yet. So I figured, well, let me see if I could do some diagnostic things. So while I'm not being a face on the internet for everyone involved that watches the channel, I am a face that does things with technology. So I figured, well, hey, if I can help troubleshoot, then why not, right? He actually called out, BCB did, to other members of the community, like, hey, you know, especially Atari, actually, it was like, hey, we got to fix this because I got some problems, and I'm trying to hook up the thing, and it's not working, and you know, I tried all these different methods, and it's, you know, nothing's helping. So I figure, hey, you know what? Why not? Why not see if we can answer the problem or the question? Do the Atari 2600 or 7800 Plus consoles have problems when updating? That is the question that we're going to try to answer. And we're going to try to answer it in a really weird and unique way because what's happening right now is I've got to go to another workstation, a whole other computer, in order to help answer this question. Why? Because I think it might have something to do with the operating system or the driver set. So in my diagnostic process. So what I did before, I was doing this in Studio A, which is running on a machine that's very nearly identical to what I'm running on here in Studio B. It's running Windows 10 Pro, and it has a number of different updates that maybe home consumers don't necessarily get. I'm going to go to a Windows 11 Pro machine, which does have some of those same update things in question. However, is a different machine altogether, has never touched an Atari 2600 7800 Plus. I believe that on my my machine at home, which again is very, very, very similar to this one here, I did update the 2600 Plus. Well, obviously I did the 7800 Plus there, but I had also prior to, updated the 2600 Plus once before when I did the last Newsline update. If not, I did it on this machine. So I want a clean machine, right? So I know that the one over there, sitting right over here, didn't touch any computers, didn't touch cables, nothing. It's brand new. It's as if I went into a store and bought a brand new machine, and then this thing, and then said, let me update it. So I'm going to go all the way to removing all the different factors, and we're going to see if we can get this update to run. So in order to do that, I've got to actually go over there. So in the meantime, what you're going to see is something silly. So here's something silly while I get myself from here to there. See? That was pretty silly, wasn't it? All right. So here we are at the terminal so there's my other terminal right over there. You can actually see like some cameraception happening over there. So I am here at this other terminal. It is a Windows 11 machine. It's an MSI Nook. It's a small, tiny machine. And I've got the 2600 plus, all right? So before we do anything, we're gonna share this other part of the screen here. So I got this pulled up. It's the updating Atari 2600 and 7800 plus firmware website. Now I'm going to link this website in the description because this might also be another key factor. If you're getting the update somewhere else, if you're downloading the file from somewhere else, I got it from a friend, got it from the Discord, got it from wherever. I don't want anyone to do that because this is the official source. This is Atari.com that we're downloading this from. So I want to make sure that everyone that gets the update gets it from the same exact place as I'm getting it. Because if I download this and it works and it's no problems, then that eliminates another thing. Don't get it from another source. Get it from this source. Now, this source from my previous video is actually a little harder to find than I thought it was. So I'm actually going to put the link in the description because the only way I got this link, it's atari.com/blogs/newsroom/updating Atari firmware. I don't know where the blog or the newsroom was going to the website, just like, like hunting and pecking around. We can try to later, but I mean, it's not necessarily important. But it is a little bit of a knock on Atari. It's like, hey, if you want to make this easy to find for the consumers, like put it as a link like in the sub menus, because you have sub menus for the Atari 2600 and 7800 plus consoles. Just have a link that says updater, click, done. It's please, to make it easy for people to find. So anyway, so it's the same things as it was before, the same things from the newsline. Updating the Atari 2600 firmware, updating your firmware is a quick and easy process. Depending upon the computer setup, you might have to proceed with admin passwords, blah, blah, blah. We already did that. So it's now download and run the application linked below before you start. Now it says 2600 tool here and then 7800 tool. So I'm going to download the 2600 plus tool because I got a 2600 plus right next to me. All right. This is the one. Got it. So I'm not going to download the 7800 plus tool because I don't have a 7800 plus with me. It's at CUA. All right. Okay, so I'm downloading the tool right now. It's downloading to the console here. It's taking a little bit to download. Am I supposed to download? Yeah. Google Drive is scanning it. And it's taking a long time. There we go. All right, so I'm going to save it to the downloads folder, just like I did the other computer. When I did it on my home computer at Studio A, I just downloaded it direct to there. So now I'm going to open it in the folder. All right, there's my friendly updater file, and I'm just going to double click to open the application. That's all I'm doing. All right, Windows Defender is coming up and saying, hey, this is an unrecognized app because it's got the identity, the publisher identity updating, or no, the publisher identity protection on Windows to make sure you're not going to run a virus or something like that. We're going to hit more on this screen and then run anyway. And then we get the user account control UAC. That's what I thought it was UAC. Anyway, we got the UAC screen. So I hit the yes button on the UAC screen, and now we're going to wait for the application to, of course, run. So we're waiting for it to pop up somewhere. I don't know if it's going to pop up under a thing. Oh, no, popped up over here. All right, so I'm bringing it over to my second screen, and now I should be able to do this, and then present, and then share. Share screen. window, Atari tool. There we go. We are now sharing the 2600 plus update tool. It looks like the Atari 2600 plus because it's the updater tool for the console I'm using. 2600 plus. Got it. Start. Driver's missing. Reinstall the driver. Okay, so I did not have the driver installed on this machine. Reinstall driver. Got it. It is installing the driver. It's a rock chip driver is what it's trying to install, as most of these machines run on like some kind of like a pseudo Linux or pseudo Android kind of thing. And the Evercades, actually, the Evercade family of systems, Super Pockets, that kind of thing, they always use the same kind of driver, the rock chip driver. Okay, cool. So it must have done it, must have installed. So connect the USB cable from the 2600 to the PC. It's not saying to do anything, turn it off, turn it on, whatever. All right, so we're going to plug it in to the power adapter. Okay. Then next, set the TV type to black and white. Got it. While holding down the select lever, turn the power on. Okay. We did that. And then we're going to hit update. Failed to open device. Okay. Restart update. So we're going to go back to this. So we're connecting it. Okay. Set it to black and white. Holding down the select lever. All right. Turn the power on. Now this is in a USB-C power cable, so there should be enough power to turn on the device as well. I'm not hearing any notification bars or anything. However, this might, I don't know, it might require a restart. I'm not sure. So let's see. I'm going to see if it does it again. It might not. Yeah. So if this is the error that we're getting, then likely it's because it's failing to recognize that the device is actually plugged in. So that is of course the case. If that is the case, then it's so let's see here. See if we can jog it. Now I'm using just a standard USB-C cable. I know sometimes they've been told that users have been told to use it like the cable that came with the 2600 plus. I think I got it over there, but I think. All right, so let's see. We can get into some diagnostic things here. So what we can do is search. Let's see here. All right. So let's take a look at our good old friend Device Manager, right? And then I'm going to turn this thing on while it's plugged in to see if anything pops up. So I'm getting nothing recognized. So usually when you plug something in to this device or to the Device Manager, you're going to get some things that'll say like, hey, you plugged something in. I'm going to do a whole bunch of things that probably people don't, Atari doesn't like unplugging it while it's still on, just to see if I can get it to jog. Nope. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm coming around on the side of this thing, and I'm going to try a different USB port. Now it's in a different USB port, and I'm going to turn it on again. Still nothing. So it seems to me like it's possible that the driver that they used to package the update tool may or may not actually be a valid driver. That or, and I can use action. So we're going to scan for hardware changes. So it's looking. Yeah, it doesn't see anything else. And it would see something like especially if I unplugged. Let's see if I unplug and then scan again. Yeah, nothing got removed. So, especially if there was something wrong with the driver, you would see it. You'd see some kind of blink or refresh when that happened. We're not seeing that. So that is a thing. That is definitely a thing. On Windows 11, at least, that we're not seeing this. Now, there was that instruction manual. So we're going to follow along with this. Powered USB port, yes. Click the update. Okay, switch to TV type, yes. Hold on to game select. Quickly hold those 3 seconds before releasing. Oh, so wait, let's do this hold thing. So it doesn't say it in the updater, but it says it in the thing. You have to hold this thing. You have to hold the button down. So maybe the timing is off. So let's see here. All right, let's go to the update tool. Okay, so we got it connected again. So I still didn't see anything in the device manager blinking or anything. So I'm going to keep that actually on the side here. I'm going to see if anything blinks at me. And I didn't hear any connecting sounds either, so that's not encouraging. But let's go. We're doing the troubleshooting thing. So, all right, start on the update tool. Turn on next. Turn off the okay. Connect it to the powered USB port. Click next. We got that. Set it to black and white. We got that. Hold down the game select and quickly flip the power button on. And then for 3 seconds before releasing. Okay, so it says to hold down the game select, quickly turn it on, and then hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just do that. This is enough before releasing, and then release, and then click this thing, and then hit the update. Nothing. So let's go to here. So we'll try it again. All right, turn it to black and white. Make sure that holding down select lever, turn the power on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can release, and then nothing. So yeah, so what's happening for sure? For sure, what is happening is it's failing to recognize the device being plugged in. So there is no question that that it is not recognizing the device. Now, let's see if we go back to the Windows 10 machine, if we can get this thing to be recognized over there. Come on, let's go. Maybe we'll pick something else that maybe is not so long, but maybe is as awkward and or weird. All right. What else can I give you guys? Here's the opening to Calling All Retro Gamers.
Calling all retro gamers.
Calling all retro gamers!
Calling all retro gamers!
Calling all retro gamers!
All right, here we are, back in action over here on the other side, right? So that's weird because it's over there. I don't know, it's weird. All right, so this is going to get interesting because I don't have a lot of room, and I'm going to have to unplug things that may break things in order to get this done. I'm going to unplug this because I know this is a powered USB port. And nothing broke, so that's good. So now I got to go back to my email, right? So back to my email, and then Atari. New firmware update. Get the update. Go here. So I'm going to show you guys that we're working with the same thing. All right, we're working with the same website right here. Okay. Now this is on a Windows 10 machine. All right, we're working on a Windows 10 machine, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to download the 2600 update tool. All right. So we've downloaded it. I think I did this already, actually. To be honest, I think I did it. I did download the update tool because, if I'm not mistaken, I used it to show you guys the updater when I did the newsline. That's all right though. That's fine because it'll just create another thing for it and download this anyway. So I'm almost positive. I'm almost positive that I downloaded it already. Which is, again, it's fine. And thanks for sticking with me with this this long video. But I'm dedicated to help try to find out the answer, because as a normal user that isn't a tech person, right? That would be annoying to see here. So we've got our instructions and everything like that. Let's remove this here, and I've got this update here downloaded. So we're gonna refresh here, and then we're gonna do this here. And I've got the Windows Defender Smart Screen. So we're gonna run anyway. Just hit more, and then run anyway. I've got the UAC. I've got to put in. I got the UAC screen. I had to put in a password because this one is heavily password protected. And then we have the update tool. We got a 2600 plus update tool. See? You can't see it yet, but we'll say see. Here. Here's an update tool. All right, cool. So we're going to hit start to see if this one actually has the driver or not. It does not. It's going to say, please install the driver. It's going to reinstall the driver. So I'm wondering, though, because it's really fast, and I didn't hear anything updating or installing, I'm wondering if there might be a bug in the installer that just won't allow the driver to be installed. Now, again, with UAC enabled on this computer, I should have gotten a prompt from Windows for installing the driver on this machine. I should have gotten the prompt that I would have had to put in a password again, because again, this terminal is password protected. So anyway, and that might have been it. This might be it. That might be the thing that happens. They might have to put out a new copy of the updater for certain PCs. But the weird thing is, if you had a Rockchip driver already installed for something else, like an Evercade, for example, then you would have been fine, which is weird. That makes me think about something else. All right, anyway. So we got the black and white. We'll flip it to color. This is off. All right, so that's that. All right, we connected the cable. We're going to go hit next. All right, set the TV to black and white. Holding the select lever, turn it on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let go, hit the update button, and it failed to do the update. Yeah, I am almost positive that it's because it either didn't install the driver or it can't install the driver, and then the update tool bugged out and thought it did it, and it didn't. Because when I did it on the 7800 Plus, I was using a machine that I know for a fact has at least one version of the newer versions of the rock chip driver, and the only reason I know that is because I've done updates on my Super Pockets and my Evercade hardware before on that machine. And like I said, they use very similar hardware, very similar driver sets for these devices. So that leads me to believe that I'm wondering if there's another machine in here. I don't have a camera on it or anything, so it'll get a little. That would be too funky to try to get it all the way over there. But I'm wondering if I hook up this machine to another machine that I have a rock tip driver on, if it'll work. And to be honest, I'm actually really wondering if I take this 2600 home and run the update tool on my machine right now, will it work? Because I just used a cable. It was just any old USB cable. I didn't unplug the. Oh no! Did I use the one that it came with? I might have used the one that came within the box. I can't remember. I don't think I did. I think I just plugged in a USB cable. But it definitely, I could hear 100% that it had the detection because it knew the driver was there. But the not getting the UAC update thing for this update tool is definitely it's definitely a thing. There is something to this. So BCB's got a point. It might not be as easy and as fun as it was for me when I did my video. And the only reason why I didn't know any better is because I didn't have to install the driver because it was already installed. So I think that's where we're at. I mean, I'm gonna wrap this video for now. And if you guys want, I'll take this home over the weekend. It's the holiday weekend coming up. I will take this home with this cable, and I will plug it into my machine at home, my Windows 10 machine that clearly has the driver on it because 7800 Plus updated fine. And we'll see if there's a difference maybe even between the 2600 Plus and the 7800 Plus. And we'll try to get down to the bottom of this. But I'm almost positive now that I've seen all of this that it's the updater tool somehow passes no matter what when you go to install the driver, and it didn't run a check to see if the driver was actually installed. Because I'm almost certain that nothing got installed on this machine. When I said, hey, you know what, install the driver, I am positive that nothing got installed on this machine because I didn't get a second UAC prompt on this. And when you install a driver, it writes to a secure sector on Windows, so you have to give it permission. Unless it assumed it from the first time you ran the program, but I don't know. I don't think so. Usually it runs a second time, and it gives you that UAC error. But that's it. That's what we got for today. So let's leave it there. Get it down below in the comments. Shout out to BCB, by the way. Thanks for staying on top of things, and it just was one of those days. It was one of those days. I just was like, you know what? Let me just watch some cool things and catch up on some news. And I just so happened to see that he was talking about the same kind of topics that I was, and I was like, yeah, I mean, whatever. I'll watch BCV's video. It's cool. And here we are with another video, doing this stuff, doing some troubleshooting. So hopefully we can get to the bottom of this, and then we can get all that information over to the team over at Atari, and then we'll see what happens. So anyway, that's what we got for today. Again, get down in the comments below. Let me know how things are going for you. If you guys are having trouble, we'll continue to try to troubleshoot this on our end. And if you want me to, I will. I'll do that third video where I take this home and plug it into the terminal at home and try to run the updater and see what happens. I'm pretty certain that it's gonna be okay. and it's going to work. But it's not great when you have an updater that's supposed to install a driver and maybe is not and actually installing the driver. So anyway, there's that. We're gonna leave it there. Before we get out of here, we got to do one thing only though, and that is thank every single member of, you guessed it, the Good Times Club. So let's do that right now. Let's thank the EverCanadian, Crimson Cross, George Games, Chris Westerman, Fan Fiction, Lloyd R. Jam, Papa Pete, the Intellivision Gamer, Ken LaCure, Mr. Shua, John Woolley, Gunsy20, Herb Wars, DF, Joe Whitlash, David Valdez, Dan Nastic, Dr. Mark Mad Scientist, Alex Groot, Immortal Sojourn, the Atari Creep, and Super Mega Graphics 64. Thank you guys all so much for being members, for being awesome, for getting us 1080p StreamYard glory right here on this channel. And not only here, but on Ed's channel, the Evercade Effect, and the Evercast, and Calling All Retro Gamers, which you saw that thing. You saw the thing. I showed a thing about Calling All Retro Gamers on this channel, so now it's even worse. Now the people must, before the end of July, get on me to make sure that by August 1st, something is on that channel. Because if not, then August 1st, you guys can unload and unleash all of the elbows off the top rope onto me, and I will be forced to take them. Because I keep promising you guys, so I'm going to put something on the channel, and then it just hasn't happened yet. But I've got a full month to do it. I'm going to do it. So anyway, thank you guys all so much again for being awesome. You want to be a member, go ahead and hit the join button, do all the YouTube things, hit the likes and the dislikes and the comments and the subscribes and the bell for notifications in case you want to see more of this space, do things like this, or do things just like bring you cool retro news and play about Atari VCS and the 2600 Plus and the Evercade VS and the Polymegas and all those other fun things. So you want to see all that stuff, make sure you're hitting the buttons. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, we will catch you next time for some good times. I'm Rich, and we will see you later. Take it easy, guys.
RTFC.baconicecream.com